Removing a collection from your credit report doesn't mean you don't owe the money. But there are 3 common violations that the debt collectors don't want you to know, and we're going to expose all of them. So sit back, relax, grab a pen, get some paper, get something to drink, because we're going to get straight into it. Hey, how's it going? Now, before we get into these violations, I gotta share something with you really quick, all right? Now, I was doing some research, and I noticed back in 2021 that 1 out of 20 Americans were sued by debt collectors, all right? Now, let me put that in perspective. 1 out of 20 Americans is 5%. Now, let's do the math. 5%, let's just say there was 200 million people back in 2021. So 200 million people, times that by 0.05, that's 10 million Americans were sued by debt collectors. Now, I'm pretty sure those 10 million people didn't know their rights. I'm pretty sure that these debt collectors violated these 10 million people. And I was sharing some of my frustration with the lawyer that we partnered with, right? Now, I was telling them that somehow we were trained, we were taught to be scared of debt collectors. Yes, we've been taught, trained to be scared. Like, if they call us, we were trained to not pick up the phone, ignore the call. If they send us letters, hey, throw that thing away, throw it in the trash, act like we never got it. Somehow we was taught, somehow we were trained this, and I don't know where it came from, but I was letting them know that. And I'm pretty sure that these debt collectors are violating your rights, and I'm going to share some of the laws. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but based off of these, like some of these laws that they violate, I'm pretty sure it happens all the time. And if you document some of these laws that they violated, hey, you have a potential case. Now, you can talk to a lawyer about that. However, I'm just letting you know based off of like previous cases of what happened, of like some of the things that if you document and document everything that happened, hey, it's game over for the debt collectors. Instead of us being sued, we gonna sue them. All right. So let me share some of them cases. Let me share some of them laws with you of like some of the things that they're doing and how you can catch them. All right. So let's get into it. So first things first, I have a quick question for you. Do you receive text messages from debt collectors? Or they might contact you through email, or maybe they contact you through social media. Yeah, they getting bold out here. Or you might get letters from them. Now, what if I told you there are 5 words that can actually help you out with these debt collectors? Yeah, let me break it down to you, all right? We got to get into the law. I want you to go to 15 USC 1692 all right? Communications and ceasing communications, all right? So I want to break down this one specific law. However, I'm not going to read the whole entire thing because what I want you to do is also read the law as well. So first things first, ceasing communication. If a consumer notifies a debt collector, right, in writing that the consumer refused to pay a debt or that the consumer wishes the debt collector to cease further communication with the consumer, the debt collector shall, keyword, shall not communicate further with the consumer with respect to such debt except, all right, now I want you to read the other part, but let's just break this down. If a debt collector texts you or sends you an email or reaches out to you through social media or, sends you a letter, if you just basically say, I refuse to pay this debt, technically what's not supposed to happen is they're not supposed to continue to communicate with you over and over and over and over again, all right? Now, if they continue doing that, you want to document that. And guess what? Hey, you might have a good case, all right? So that's your job to reach out to a lawyer to see, how you can basically deal with that. But I'm just letting you know some of the things that you can do, all right? Now, let's get into the second thing. So I have another question for you. Do you receive phone calls from debt collectors over and over and over again? Man, what I'm about to share with you, there are some specific requirements debt collectors have to follow, and I'm pretty sure they are violating these laws, all right? And let me get into it, all right? So the first law that we're going to get into is 15 USC 1692 all right? Communication with the consumer generally. Now, without the prior consent of the consumer given directly to the debt collector or the express permission of a court or a competent jurisdiction, a debt collector may not communicate with a consumer in connection with the collection of any debt at any unusual time or place or a time or place known or which should be known to be inconvenient to the consumer. All right. In the absence of knowledge of circumstances to this contrary, a debt collector shall assume that the convenient time for communicating with a consumer is after 8 o'clock a.m. and before 9 o'clock p.m. local time at the consumer's location. So that's one law that they violate, right? Now let's get into the other law that they violate as well, all right? Now, a lot of people don't really talk about this one specific law, but let's get into it. 12 CFR 1006.14 Fair Debt Collections Practices Act, Regulation F. We're going to get into it, all right? Harassing, oppressive, or abusive conduct. Now, let's get into this one specific law. It's crazy, all right? So, in general, a debt collector must not engage in any conduct the natural consequences of which is to harass, oppress, or abuse any person in connection with the collection of debt, included but not limited to the conduct described in paragraph B through H. All right. Now, I want you guys to read that section as well. But repeated or continuous phone calls or telephone conversations in connection with the collection of a debt collector must not place telephone calls or engage any person in telephone conversations repeatedly or continuously with intent to annoy, abuse, or harass any person at the called phone number. All right, going to the other part. Number 2, telephone call frequencies, presumptions of compliance and violation. All right, subject to the exclusion in paragraph B3. All right, you want to read that specific part. A debt collector is presumed to comply with paragraph B1 of this section in FDCPA section 8065. All right, now we're not about to get into all these specific laws. All right, if the debt collector places a telephone call to a particular person in connection with the collection of any particular debt, neither more than 7 times within 7 consecutive days. So let's just put that in perspective, all right? Now, a debt collector is not allowed to contact you more than 7 times in a 7-day period. All right. Now, the other law that they, commonly violate. If a debt collector calls you and if they call you and you tell them that this is not a good time to call you, make sure you record that, document it. If they do that again and again and again, that's a violation. You want to make sure, you record a call and let them know whatever the case may be. However, like I said, the earlier law, right? A debt collector cannot contact you more than 7 times in a 7-day period about one specific debt. Woo! Yeah. It's game over for the credit. It's game over for these debt collectors. So here's another law that these debt collectors commonly violate. All right. Now let's just assume that you received a letter from a collection agency, all right, and you gave them a call and you disputed the balance, that you disagreed, whatever the case may be with that specific balance. Technically, that's a dispute, and technically they're supposed to mark it as disputed, and usually they don't. And that's a violation, all right? So now you understand how these debt collectors are violating your rights. Now, if you're unaware, we partner up with a law firm, all right? Now, if you feel like you want to work with me and my team to help you, knock the debt collectors out in these credit bureaus, hey, click the link in the description, schedule a call, see if we're a good fit, see how we can work together. If not, and continue watching the videos, I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.